So temperature, why is this important? Well, first off, if you're fermenting your dough and you're making sourdough, as I'm assuming that you are, then temperature is very, very important because your flour has so many microorganisms that you need in order to get that nice ferment, that nice bubbly rise, that nice big bloom. And there's a little bit of a hidden evil when it comes to grinding flour, and that is the fact the friction of the grind is going to cause some level of heat, which is okay, that's okay, don't worry. But just make sure to test your fresh ground flour with a temp probe to ensure that your grinder
Guys,
isn't,
if possible, this video is going to be divided into two segments, so you can go watch the other segments in my playlist.
Now, from what I've read, and I could be wrong, but it seems to be across the board, the natural...
Alright, so if you want to get the other part of this video, you can just go into my playlist or go into my video section. Just check the dates I posted this video and then trace it down. Then you most definitely find the other part of the video right there.
On the actual wheat tend to die off around 115 degrees Fahrenheit or 46 degrees Celsius, which in the case of sourdough isn't so good. Some people like to grind their grains on a really coarse setting first and then grind them again on a fine setting to avoid heating up the grains too much. You know, I only do this if I'm milling a huge quantity of flour. Usually if I'm just doing, you know, like 500 grams or so, it's totally fine. It's not going to overheat the flour, but, you know, just something to pay attention to. Some people also like to freeze their grains before they grind them. That way, as they're grinding it, even though it's warming up, it's starting from such a cold temperature that it never actually reaches an unsafe temperature for those lovely little yeasties that are our best friends that we take care of and, you know, feed them every once in a while. Okay, so you've got your grain mill, you've got your grains, you even ground your grains, but what could possibly be left? And that is sifting. Now, once your flour is ground, you can even sift it through a fine mesh sifter to get out even more of that bran, which will not only result in a better rise, but a much different flavor profile and texture on both the inside and the crust. Now, this is also referred to as the extraction rate. Anytime you see high extraction flour, it's basically implying that it has a high percentage of bran and germ left behind. Now, I usually don't sift my fresh milled flour because I want the full effect of both the fermentation properties as well as the flavor in my bread. And by not sifting it, you can basically say that it's 100% extraction flour. So the finer your mesh sieve, the lower the extraction essentially. If you choose to sift it, then it will likely have a higher rise, lighter wheat flavor, and, you know, a slightly slower rate of fermentation, just a little bit. Long story short, sifting is optional and totally up to personal preference.
Okay,
so
sifting is optional.
Now it's time to use it in your bread. So, when baking bread with fresh milled flour, you need to be aware that it is likely not going to be as strong as commercially made bread flour. In fact, it's definitely not going to be. So I usually do anywhere between 20 to 50% fresh milled flour, and then the rest is essentially strong unbleached bread flour. If you're looking for a nice rise and a good bloom with moderately forward fresh milled flour flavor, well, that was a tongue twister, then 20 to 30% is your number. Everything after the fact is really just a matter of testing what you like. And that is the true beauty of milling your own flour for bread making. Alright guys, and that is it. Well, what do I say? You know how to mill your own flour. Well, okay, in all seriousness, I hope that this sheds some light on the producers that make this stuff and a little bit of understanding.
Alright guys, so which one are you actually going to go for? Like, which one do you think should make the best flour? Is it, should make the best bread product? Is it getting well, is it getting it ready made out there, or just making it in the comfort of your own? However, just drop it in the comment section below, and feel free to drop me any request if you have. I'm going to get back to you in 24 hours. So that's how we do on this channel. Drop me any request, I'm going to get you the right video to your favorite